Yeah, I'm Ryan Aquilante alongside here Fran McCaffery after a huge win over Yale the other day for the Ivy League championship. Now, Fran, to start off, TJ Power, he dropped 44 points, 14 rebounds. Can you talk to me as a coach what it's like to see a player do that after they've had not a dry, but haven't had a game like that this season?
Well, I don't know how many games there were like that this season. He's had some huge games. You don't get it 44 and 14. That was a record. But he was a dominant player on the floor a number of times. And he does that in a variety of ways. It's not just with scoring. It's scoring, rebounding, passing, defense. He's just a winning player.
Now, you guys beat Harvard in overtime leading up to this big game here. Can you tell me what you guys learned playing against Harvard that helped you guys prepare for playing against the number one team in the Ivy League, Yale?
Yeah, we look at those teams pretty similarly. They're one of the two seeds. They're two of the better teams in the country, both with great coaches. So we played in an overtime game. We knew it would be like that, and that prepared us for the next day to be in another overtime game. We have to manage the clock coming down the stretch. We have to limit our mistakes, and that's what we did.
Now, you've coached at various schools here. You've coached at Iowa in the Big Ten. Can you tell me what things you can take away from coaching in the Big Ten that can help you possibly get a win against the second seed Illinois in March Madness?
I coached against Illinois for 15 years. Coached against Coach Underwood for many of those years. One of the best in the business, Brad is, and he's a good friend. They are a unique team in terms of the flexibility that they have. They've got tremendous size. They've got speed. They've got a three-point shooting team. They've got a number of guys that they can go to when they really need a bucket, and they're a veteran club. So we'll have our hands full with them. But, I've coached against them, like I said, a number of times, and teams of that caliber for a good number of years of my career.
Now, what are a few things you were going to point out to the team, because they told me earlier you guys haven't gone over film yet. What are a few things you were going to point out to them going over film that are going to help them improve and know what to do when they get the ball against a team like Illinois?
Well, really, for them, it starts with rebounding. Got to rebound the ball. They're the best rebounding team I've seen. You can't let them come down the floor and get multiple shot opportunities. They got too many weapons.
Now, Gerhard played more minutes in the last game. What were you seeing from him that caused him to play that many minutes compared to when he did against Harvard?
He's our starting center, so he'll typically be on the floor late in the game. There's times when Dalton plays a little bit better, and there's times when we downshift and go with Lucas Luth at the 5.
Now, you guys had to play 2 straight games where you had to come back against 2 of the top Ivy League teams in the league. Can you tell me what that does psychologically for your team heading into March Madness?
The thing about this time of year, you're going to be playing against a really good team. So you might get behind, and you've got to stay the course. And that's what we did over the weekend, and we'll have to do that moving forward.
Now, Illinois, they have a very balanced offensive attack, and they're one of the top-ranked offensive teams in the country, scoring around 86 points a game average. Can you tell me what will the keys be for you guys to be able to stay in a game and possibly slow down their pace and come out with a win there?
Yeah, so a number of things. It starts, like I said before, with rebounding. They score a lot of points because they get the ball back and they score on that possession. Doesn't necessarily mean the percentage, doesn't matter. If they score on that possession, that's makes it difficult. They've got a couple of guys that can go for a big number. So we got to make sure we take care of them, make them play in a crowd, whether it's in the post or on the perimeter. And then we have to execute our offense without turning the ball over. Got to move the ball, got to attack, get good shot opportunities. If we do that, we'll be in a position to win.
Now, coming into UPenn, you brought in a brand new coaching staff. Can you tell me, when you were picking out a coaching staff, can you tell me what you were looking for in generally when you were picking out your coaching staff to bring in here at UPenn that helped you get to this point now?
I was looking for coaches who are the complete package. I'm not somebody who looks at well, he's a great recruiter, or he's a great X and O guy, or he's a great workout guy. You got to do it all. That's what I want. That's what I expect. Tristan Spurlock, Ben Luber, Ronald Moore, Dave Duda, all of them are the total package.
You have faced, as you said earlier, Coach Underwood earlier before you came to UPenn in the Big Ten. Can you tell me what makes him so challenging to play against?
I think it's everything. I mean, they recruit really good players. They understand how to compete. They understand how to play together, and they have pieces that fit. They're not loaded up on wings or guards, or they have everything. They got bigs, they got wings, they got guards, they have depth.
Now, you guys, lastly, you're going into a huge game here against Illinois, as I said a few times earlier. Can you tell me what you guys have done to prepare so far coming out of the games against Harvard and Yale?
We're going to get ready to meet right now. We had the guys get with the trainers today. We didn't get back till after midnight. So today they were getting treatment on any injuries. They got a little bit of skill development in, and we'll introduce them right now.
Thank you.
My pleasure. See you, brother.